Number 1. Number 2. Number 1. Number 2.
About the same. Number 1 might be a tiny bit better.
Okay? You either could do 1, 2, 3, or all of them. Okay?
What's up, y'all? Welcome back, or if you're new to the channel, welcome. Today, we're switching it up. Usually, we're always messing with my brother's 8.6 or my FC, but today, we're gonna switch it up. We're gonna work on Caleb's car, who's behind the camera, and this is Hoshiko. What are we doing today? Something a little bit different. First off, for those FC gurus out there, these aren't your traditional headlights. They're headlights in a sense where they pop up, and I'm not a fan of pop-up headlights. Hate me all you want. They're not superior. Live in the past. Like, do you want blurred vision? Check. You want to be invisible at night? Check. You want mechanics that are outdated? Check, check. But it just so happens that Caleb's, a big FC nerd, and he has one of the rare Knightsport headlights with the custom shroud. I don't know how many of there are out there, like 2 or 3 in existence for a reason. But Caleb has finally decided to part ways with this piece of shit. I know you're smiling behind the camera. And our buddy Jordan from Colorado, who, mind you, is a very, very, very cool dude and a good friend of ours. He's actually, I believe, I'll just give him the credit. He's the only one to existence to complete a K-swap on an FC RX7. And if there's another K-swap, fine. I'll put an icing on top of that. A turbo K-swap in an FC RX7. That actually got dynoed, and it moves under its own free will. So if you don't know about Jordan, super smart guy from Colorado. Fun fact, I had a spare Tommen hood, and that dude was crazy enough to drive not only from Colorado to California, but I think he drove an Audi, and that's just fucking reckless. Anywho, he designed a headlight unit for Caleb to install on his FC so that he can actually see at night. Because at this point, these headlights and the visibility out of them don't even come close to an iPhone. That's how bad the light is. And mind you, it was style in Japan. fog lights. These are actual fog lights. But driving to the track at night, or for Caleb, just driving around and going home from a show or a car meet late at night, he can't see shit. And if you've ever driven in California, no one knows how to drive. So we're going to upgrade to these bad boys and pretty much disassemble his current setup, slap these on, and send it. So enjoy it and let us know what you think.
Knightsport. Like, Nimbus, can you pass me the 10 mil? Nimbus!
Bro, Nimbus. Pass him the 10 mil. Nimbus. Bro. Pass him. No. Pass him the 10 mil, bro.
Bro, Nimbus, where's the 10 mil?
Dude, seriously? That's crazy,
You
man.
lose it again.
Bro.
Every time, I tell you.
Dude, this dude's just playing dumb.
Modified arm. The ball joint assembly is modified to tilt for sleepy eye. Ray cam harness, courtesy of my boy William. Plug in right here. Box plug right here for the headlight. Plug and play. LED upgrade. Yeah, this is one of 2 sets known in the US that I know of so far. Genuine Knightsport. I got 2 sets of shrouds for it, but of course, the next person that's gonna get these is gonna have the real shroud or headlight. What number 2? Alright. Okay. After taking out this little breathing apparatus and stuff, 3 bolts, this one's the furthest one. And once you get that out, this comes out. Now I gotta figure out where this guy goes. I don't know. One of the first things that we're doing right now, other than taking out the assembly that I had in the car before, this is modifying the OEM stuff that you should already have on your car. So this is the pop-up headlight motor assembly, 3 bolt, 1, 2, 3. This one's a bit annoying to get to if you have your fluid reservoir and some of your emission stuff, like whatever this thing is. So what we're going to be doing, we're going to be modifying the assembly here. This is the long rod that adjusts the height for your pop-up motor. So this lever is responsible for actuating your pop-up motor. Because we're going a smaller sleepy eye look, we have to take this assembly off and replace it with our shorter version here. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove this, right? And then I'll show you how we're going to assemble it. Mind you, I'm just doing this to break this nut loose, right? You want to be careful not to damage and bend the motor. So I'm just trying to get it like that to break it. And now it's come right off. The nut is a little washer. Hold on to these parts because this is going to be really important. So now we are going to try to pry this off. And if you've never taken one of these off before, really important, we have to make sure you remember the orientation of it. So when I put it back on, I have to make sure that I line it up exactly as I took it off. Otherwise, when you actuate the motor, it's probably going to be off balance because this is actually a spline. So you want to make sure that you have your spline as correct as possible. So take a mental picture of that. And we're going to take that off. Okay. One thing to note, this is a cognac spline here. Right. So what I've been informed by, this is made out of aluminum, and you can see it's not tapered, so it's not an MPT. So what you have to do is you're going to press fit it on, and because it's a softer metal, it's to kind of create its own like MPT fitting on it. Once that happens, you're going to tighten it down by hand with this washer without this, and it should seat pretty evenly. And then once you have that, you assemble it as you would as you took it off. So they press that in without the washer first, because you can see you don't have enough thread. So you just need just enough thread to catch on. I trimmed the back of the stud because it's extending out and I was hitting this lip to make sure that's shaved down. And now I'm gonna put this. So that to be pressed in with no issues, everything cleared the middle. Now that's to be pressed in there. Put this, put it back on, and by the time you're done with it, the surface of the nut will be flush with the top. So we're going to crank it back down. You can see it's just about flush with that. For good measure, I'll give it a quick love tap. There you go. There we go. That's one. So when you install it back in, the ball joint will go here, and we'll go up.
Okay, so little progress update. We got the headlight motors back on Hoshiko, or also known as Caleb's car. I haven't seen these in a bit since I don't have them on my FC, since they get in the way with the FC 2000 front bumper. Technically, Caleb has an FC 2000 front bumper, but it's custom. One of one. So don't bug him about it. But yeah, we got that new piece right there that Jordan designed. Try to focus for you guys. And now we're assembling the actual headlights, and then the actual bracket on the OEM headlight requires some modification. And of course, Caleb's not going to cut the Knightsport one, which is in the trash. Wink. He has a spare assembly, so we're taking off this God forbidden headlight, and then we're going to have to cut, per Jordan's instruction, this little tab here. We're just going to cut it off so that we can fit the whole assembly in this pocket. So we ended up cutting those sections right here and on the other one. Use a chamfer wheel or a flat disc to kind of just clean everything out. No sharp edges. Jordan, if you're watching this, well played, my friend. There's an actual little 3D printed section right here, and it's perfectly designed to fit in this little section right here of the OEM headlight unit. All those little plastic tabs Caleb took off, but check this out. It just sits in there. Nice. Good shit, Jordan. I'm very fucking impressed. Right there, check it out. It sits in perfectly. I don't know how the rest of the kit goes. Caleb's gonna figure that out, but I think it looks pretty good. And that's pop-up headlights.
Mm-hmm.
Sick.
So we got the bracket on here, 3D printed. It followed the gantry really nicely. The bolts sit flush here. There's a bracket on the back, right here, and right here. I was missing the arm because I broke all of them. These sockets are notorious for snapping off and breaking. So he just 3D printed me some new ones. So I got the middle one and the big one in the middle. So there's 3 in total. So now
Watch your fingers.
this should be able to rotate like that. When the pop-ups are going up. The reason why we cut this off is because when the headlight goes on, the square brick is going to go up against its ear. But if you are converting it back to OEM, it really isn't a problem with these ears. You can still have the shroud for the cover to go on here. But because I'm not running it, I decided not to. Everything is reversible so that everything can mount back up again. Okay, this part, Jordan warned me this is gonna be a pain in the butt. So, the cool thing is that the pockets right here, the last thing you want to do is pinch any wires. So I made this little divot right here so that when you feed it, it'll make sure that your wiring is through this center, and then make sure that this does not get pinched. It follows right into this little slot, and then these little square bricks are supposed to go in here. Now what I might do is I might just loosen the hinges a little bit here, just so that I'll have a little bit more flexibility. Kind of give it a little bit of a rotation so that when I'm putting it in, it'll be easier. Like that. Okay. And then this little ball socket, this is the adjustment knob. So once you put it in, just to be able to tilt up and down. So we'll feed the wiring through here. Oop. Make sure that you don't pinch into the wiring. And now this is the hard part. You gotta get these little bricks aligned in the square hole.
That's right, the square goes in the square hole.
It goes in the square hole. So I'm gonna have to rotate and loosen this stuff. Put that one side in. Now we just gotta figure out how to get the other one. Yeah. So Jordan warned me that the tolerances are really tight, and the reason for that is that when you press it in, this whole assembly doesn't rattle. So now, just press it in like that, and we have a couple of holes for some threaded inserts. The long one goes on this side, and the short one goes on this side. So we're gonna put this all the way through.
I need to put it in a little bit more.
Yeah. I'm gonna pay attention to the guide. So we put the headlight motor back on. A couple of things. There are two different wiring harnesses. There is a patch harness. Basically, it'll plug into your side marker on the side. And then there's a box connector that plugs to the plug for the headlight assembly.
The 3-prong one.
Yeah. The reason why it's wired that way is because it's pulling power from the side markers to activate the halos on these lights. And then the block connector goes to power the actual headlight for high and low beam function. Secondly, we also put a jumper relay. This is for the high and low beam relay for when you're using your high beam, low beam. When the headlight is running, these two outer lights are going to be on, including the halos, right? When you activate the high beam, when you pull the lever back, this third light will activate. The beam pattern is even on both sides, so it is correctly level here. The third one is tilted slightly higher for the high beam. So just be aware of that. When you look at it, you'll notice that the third light on the inside is tilted just a couple degrees higher.
Talk about it. It's
this. So once you push the blocks into the assembly of this frame, it took a little bit of time with this one because the tolerances were really tight, so I kind of had to carefully manipulate it and give it some persuasion with the mallet. You know, just cover a towel or something and just lightly or firmly hit it until it goes in. This composite is a carbon nylon composite, so it's super strong, it's not going to break on you. This is an adjustment knob. You're going to push it back into the ball socket here, and you'll know when it's in there because it's going to click. So depending on the height of your headlight assembly, this will be an adjustment knob. So you can adjust it, I think, with an 8mm or a flathead. And you can adjust it on the fly anytime you go out and you need to correct the vision. So right now I'm putting this rod here. This is what actuates the headlight motor on the bottom to the scissoring assembly of the headlight motor. There is a small and a large socket. So the large ball socket goes on the scissor jack here, and then the smaller one goes onto that little aluminum ball joint that we put on the bottom of this. So Jordan told me that he already configured the height of this, right, for the sleepy eye look. If you do need to make an adjustment, you just loosen the jam nut and then lengthen the rods accordingly. So the idea here is that when the headlight is up, okay, it'll be okay. And then this should be level with the bumper line here. So this is kind of my bumper line here. So you want to make sure that your headlight sits right above the bumper line. I can kind of imagine it. So we test fitted it over on that side already. And I can see just looking at it, it's probably going to match the bumper line pretty well according to Jordan's specification. You guys can just pop these off with a pry bar, a mini pry bar, or a flathead screwdriver. I don't have any with me, but it always just helps because this is a wear item. You can put a little bit of grease in it just to kind of keep it lubricated and able to swivel. I'll probably pop these back off at some point and just kind of put a little bit of grease on it. But this is cool. You're just gonna put this on the ball joint, push it in. You hear that? And then this. It'll go over that. And that's it. satisfaction.
Okay, so we finished installing Caleb's custom headlights, courtesy of Joran, out in Colorado. They're really fucking sick. Like, it's a Corvette style headlight, high and low beams. Joran really thought everything out. It was really easy to install. He can see a lot. Like, I was driving behind Hoshiko, and if you don't know, this is Hoshiko. Welcome to the channel. Yeah, the beam pattern is out of control. He can actually see. Caleb, you know what? Let's switch up. Here, let me see the camera. Let me see the camera. Give me the camera. Give me the camera. Give me the camera, Caleb. Oh, man. What's in the box, man? Here. Okay. Screw that. This isn't even my car.
What's the question?
All right, Caleb. Overall impressions, because you're the only one, I think, stateside that owned those Knightsport headlights.
Yes.
How many Knightsport headlights are there?
Apparently, there are maybe 2 sets that I know of in North America.
Okay.
I think there's a guy on Instagram. His name is Penny the 7, I think. And I think he's either in Indiana or in Canada. I can't really tell. I've never actually confirmed his location. But he had the first one that I knew of, and I asked him questions on how to wire them up. He helped me a lot with that. And I basically drove with Knightsport headlights for about 2.5 years. Maybe more, maybe 3 years, actually.
And how do the new headlights compare?
The beam output on this is way better. I've been driving with this headlight setup for a couple of weeks now. You probably noticed in the video I have a little bandage on my finger. That's how you know time has passed. So I can honestly say I feel a lot safer about going home at nighttime. I can see like 180 degrees. There's been different development of different headlights that are out on the market for FC. The Origin Works has made their Sleepy Eye kit. That is the H4 style headlight where it actually had a beam projection. So I can confidently say that their headlight had a better forward pattern than these. These is kind of an aftermarket setup that we have made. But it just feels much safer. I know that drivers can see me at night. I have LED taillights, so I know that people behind me can see me. But overall, like, I'm just really happy with this setup. I'm really glad that Joran has finally made a step for me after I bullied him for the better half of like a year and a half. And yeah. But,
Oh, yeah, it looks good, but
yeah.
you know, for those watching, my personal car doesn't have this fucking bullshit because I'm anti-pop-up club because they're stupid, they're old, they're dated. Except for these are really cool. So yeah, that's the pop-ups because they're whack.